Okay, sorry about the click. Now I go to the next one, okay? There are two terms, so negative 3x to the fifth plus 48x. Okay, so I've done a lot of the work. We have a negative in front, you bet. X on x fifth and x, so we just put x. And then 3 and 48, the GCF's 3. So I factor out negative 3x. Now I go up and divide, so that becomes 1. Now that takes that down to x to the fourth. That's negative 16, so minus 16, and those cancel. Now, did this result in the difference of perfect squares? Well, we have the minus. 16 is 4 by 4. 1 is, that's 1 by 1. And we have an even power on the x, so it's x second, x second. Okay, so you're going to put 1x to the second, 1x to the second, and 4 and 4. Well, the plus gets circled, but the minus we got to check and see if that's a dot. So 4 is 2 by 2. 1 is 1 by 1, and that x second, that's an even exponent, so we split that into x. So I was able to figure out everything. So I don't circle that. I make it 2 more parentheses, so plus minus 1x, 1x, and then 2, 2. The plus gets circled. We have minus. Now 2 is not on the board, so that gets circled. Everything's circled, then we're good. The bottom part's all circled. You want to do that. Okay, GCF. 1 in front. Negative in front, nope. X on everything, no way. 1, 3, and 54 is just 1, so hence no GCF. Okay, so this time I had 3, so I had to do the ABC. So A times C. So 1 times negative 54 is negative 54, difference of 3. 6 and 9 is what I found, and minus, so minus on that gets distributed to the 9, and it's a difference, so they have to be different. Now again, now you're going to have to start paying attention when you have higher power than a 2. It's 1x to the 4, so we do have the 1, okay, so I don't need to I only need one line of parentheses. But it's x to the fourth, so I can't do x, I go x second and x second, and then plus 6 minus 9. The plus gets circled, but with that power still there, we got to check this one for perfect squares. 3 times 3, that'd be x times x, so that's going to work because that's even power. So plus minus x, and then 3, 3. The plus gets circled. The minus is, this is going to get circled too because I don't even have a power anymore on the x. Okay, so I don't even have to think about that. Okay, next problem. 4x to the fifth plus 1x to the third minus 5x is what that said. Okay, GCF, negative in front. Nope, you got x. Yeah, I got x fifth, x third, x. So I take the x. 4, 1, and 5 is just 1, but I did have to factor out the 1x, so circle that. And then these canceled, but the rest of them don't. So 4, that takes that down 1 to the fourth, plus 1, that takes it down to the second, and then that's just 5. Okay, so A times C, same thing, you times the big numbers. 4 times negative 5, 20 negative, difference of 1, okay. And 4 and 5 is it. Now the plus here gets distributed to 5. It's different, so they'll be different. Okay. Now what was A? A is 4x to the fourth power. So we didn't even have our 1, hence 2 lines. So I make the 2 lines, and I just put that 4 and 4. But the x has to be cut in half. So that would be x to the second and x to the second. And then we have minus 4 and plus 5. Now these are the same numbers, so they get divided by 4, and that becomes 1x to the second minus 1. And then 4 and 5, it's just a 1 GCF, so that stays the same. Now 4 and 5, okay? Those there's a plus there, so circle it. But I have a minus here with a power, so that's 1 times 1. 1 times 1, and x to the second breaks into x and x. You don't need to put x first and x first. That looks idiotic. So I go further with that. I make a plus minus, and I put 1x, 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 and then 1, 1. The plus gets circled. Now we still have a minus, but there's no power, so I can circle that, and I'm done. So I this, this, okay? Looks a little sloppy, but it's going to help us moving forward. GCF here, we have a negative in front. Okay, these both have x's, x fifth and x, so I put the x down. And 3 and 108 on the little GCF calculator is going to say 3, so I factor out negative 3x. Then I go up and divide, so that's 1. That takes that down to x to the 4th, and then minus 36, and those cancel. You can always get, if you have x in the GCF, any kind of x, you're going to get a cancellation of the x's somewhere. Okay, now we got to check for a dot. So I have minus, and 36 is 6 by 6, and 1 is 1 by 1, but it's x to the 4th, so it's not just x, it'd be x to the second, x second. So it's 1x to the second, 1x to the second, and then 6 and 6. So the plus may be circled, and also the GCF, it will be circled when we get into the more intense with this. Then I have minus, with a power, an even power, but 6 is not a perfect square, so that is prime as well. Okay.